We are live.
Hey guys, happy Sunday. I hope you made it. I meant to put another reminder on the creative group to come today and I didn't get to it. There was just a lot to take care of this morning, so I hope you have a good group. I did kind of shout it out there a good bit, so we'll wait and see if anybody shows up, see if anybody remembers, hopefully. Which is 1:30, 1:32. Okay. Guys, happy Sunday. What happened?
Nothing.
We're okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought something happened. She was just checking the volume on something. Okay, guys. Well, I wanted to show you what I did with my stuff to get ready for today. And I'm going to teach you today a little bit how to do the things that I did. Here we go. Somebody's showing up down there.
Cassidy Wood.
Hi, Cassidy. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it a lot. Before I start mixing up epoxy sculpt and showing you how to do this, I want to show you what I made yesterday because I think it came out pretty cool. Okay, so we're talking about art charms. Well, you know, what's an art charm? It could be anything. It tends to be a little smaller, so it could be a pendant. It could be smaller like a charm, but it's something that you've handmade, something you've made yourself. Sometimes people have used old pictures and scrapbooking materials and, you know, all kinds of anything you could think of to make jewelry, you can make art charms with. So you're making something, maybe inch and a half to half an inch size. A little bigger, a little smaller, however you want. Anyway, this is what I made. Now, the video that I did the other day, it was just kind of like a preview thing, kind of telling you, what I'm going to do. And I showed you a few pieces and worked on a couple. But today what we're going to do is we're going to cover some brass blanks, and then we're going to do freeform. So this is what I did yesterday. This one I did the other day when we were together, and I was going to put little stones in it here, but I didn't get to it. So when I do, that's going to be real pretty, but I'm just showing it to you again. We're not going to do that today. You guys all know how to do that. Oh, kitty cat hair everywhere. Oh, I hate that.
If you have a kitty cat, please make sure your area is clean.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That happens to me.
disgusting.
You're not the only one.
Okay. Then I made this one last night, and that's in a brass blank. So it has a rim kind of like the channel cuff does, so it kind of helps to contain it on the side. So this is all just little metal bits and pieces and pearlies that I put together, and I like how it came out. It kind of has, I don't know, slightly a steampunk look to it, but then maybe I put too many pearls in it for that. I don't know. But anyhow, I got that done. And then I have a finished pendant that I actually finished the whole thing. And it's on a chain and everything. And that one, I use a lot of blingy things this way. I use a lot of blingy things and so forth. I put a little bead spacer down, and then I pierced through it so I could use it for a hole and have a nice finished hole. Like sometimes I'll put a rivet in metal, kind of the same idea, so that I would have a nice finished hole, and did on this back too. This is free form, no bezel, okay? I just formed it, and it's pretty easy to form a circle or whatever, but you can make any kind of style or shape or whatever that you want, just a free form. And then I put my little roses there and so forth. And then ball chain is your best friend when it comes to epoxy sculpt, I'm finding, when you're doing art charms. It's really cool. You can cut it up very easily. You can put in your design. I used it in this one, all around the edge here, you can see. And I use it here on the outer edge, which makes a cute finish to it. But it's just bits and pieces from the mosaic mixes. That's all it is. Didn't take long to make, and then it's set up just beautifully. And then I put this nice Venetian box chain on it a little bit ago. And it's perfect, and it's done. Oh, guys, before we go too much farther, I see people are checking in. That's a good thing, because, today we're going to do a drawing. We have not done a drawing live for a long time on here, but we're doing a drawing today. Anybody can win, and you don't have to buy anything.
Oh, but you have to make sure you guys gotta like that video and comment below.
Yeah, we need you to do that. And we also need you to comment most of all,
On
not
live.
yeah. You need to comment when we're live.
Yes.
And not in
Not
the
later
description
on.
underneath, you know, like you usually do in my videos or anybody else's. You have to comment here in the feed live. So just like you're going to talk to me, you know, like, you know, all interactive videos are, just talk to me. I'll go back through, I'll see how many unique comments I have, meaning one comment per person counts, okay? So count them up, and then I'm going to use a random number generator, and I will put in the description of this video who won. And if I don't know you, you have to get hold of me, but I'll make a way for you to do that so we can give you your gift, which is going to be nice. I don't know, if you don't know about Bisou Gifties, all I can tell you is they're pretty sweet. So be sure you comment. Okay, enough about that. Now it's on you. You got to remember, okay? Alrighty. This is the piece we were working on Friday. This way?
Yep.
Okay,
Towards
too
the
far
middle.
over. Okay,
Yeah.
now that's
There
good.
you
Now we're
go.
good. Sorry. And so it's done on metal, but remember I said, oh, they get messy on the back sometimes, especially if you're working small. It gets tough. So I just covered it on the back. It's covered back and front. And then what I did is I put a little tiny bit of mica powder, and then I took it and I pressed it down into a texture sheet, and I let it sit there for about 10-15 minutes. Press it down in like this. Let it sit. Don't move it. You know, when you press it down, you just press it down in straight. And then about 10-15 minutes, it's starting to get cured enough that you can pull it gently up off, and then you'll have a nice little pattern on the back. So I don't know if you can see this here, but there is a cute little pattern on here. But my friend Pamela Hawkes told me about this trick, that if you want to get a good impression with the texture sheet, I'm sorry, I gotta just slow down my mind a little bit. You need to dust it lightly with a little bit of mica powder. Not baby powder or anything like that, not talcum powder, nothing like that. Mica powder like
the clips.
Perfect
and
Pearls.
stuff. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. And you don't need to use the embossing ink with it like you do on metal, because it'll just take it. Because, you know, mica powders, well, I don't know if all of them do. I don't know if Pearlex does, but Perfect Pearls has resin in it. Okay? So it is, you talk about perfect, it is a perfect medium to use with Apoxie Sculpt, because they are both resin products. So that's very cool. Now, Javi's got the other screen like way over there, so I can't see you guys to say anything. If she sees you or something, she'll say something, or she'll prompt me. I can see a lot of people checking in now. That's great.
No questions yet.
No, but that's okay. I'd like to say hi if I can. I'll catch you at the end if I miss you, okay? I'll catch you at the end. She usually brings it over here and I can see it. Okay, then I made these earrings. These came out good.
Oh, somebody had a question.
What?
Betty Strongman said, "What is the pattern called?"
The pattern?
Yeah.
Oh, of the impression sheet? I use some Lisa Pavelka sheets. I don't have any right now. I used to always have the one called tooled leather, because for me it was the be all and end all. It was the only texture sheet I ever wanted to use. I love it, but it's a little big for this. It's got bigger details, you know. So, I mean, to give you an idea of what it looks like, I think I have a piece over here. This is polymer clay. I made it like eons ago.
Can
But
you bring it in the
it's
screen?
got you can see how it's kind of bigger. This is the Lisa Pavelka impression. But these here, I have one, I can't remember the name of it, Cloodle. She's had this out for a long time. It has a lot of really good little places where you could put it, you know, for little detail. Now, if you're making a bigger piece, then fine, you can use tool leather. I have, but for these art charm type things, little stuff is the best, okay? But you just dust it very finely with mica powder, because maybe you don't want it to show. So here's a thought. If you want to use white Apoxie Sculpt, and then you want to get the impression in, because then you have to use the mica powder, Perfect Pearls, take the one that's pearl, the pearl colored one, and dust it over, and it won't stand out a lot. you know, if you don't want it to. Now, if you want to make it a color, go for it. You can, but if you want to keep it to just the white look, just use pearl. And then do what I told you. Push it down on there. Don't move it. Leave it alone. Now, Pamela says she leaves it on until it's cured. And you can do that, too. But I found that it was really only necessary to leave it on for 10-15 minutes. And then you could pull it up nicely and not distort it. And anytime you put epoxy sculpt in a mold, you want to leave it there for a little while. Not forevermore. It needs to be in a silicone mold once to begin with. It needs to be something out of this, you know, stuff. Not just like a regular hard plastic mold, because it will stick to it. It sticks to hard plastic. It's silicone. You got to be real careful what you put on. But yeah, you can leave it sit, you know, till it's done. But you know, you don't have to. So anyway, I think that's what I was saying.
Oh, Gloria's here.
Oh, Miss Gloria. Miss Gloria, how you be doing? So glad you came. So anyway, I did these. Now, some of them, what happens is you get a little bit of epoxy sculpt on the back and you forget, you don't get it off. So then, I mean, you could leave it. It's not a horrible look, but I like my stuff to be finished front and back real nice. So I spray painted them, and they're like, okay. But I think what I will do now on these is I will take possibly a little bit of mica powder and go over that, because the reflection of the mica will distract from any imperfections in the paint. So you won't see it so much. You know, that's why they put mica powder in makeup, so it distracts from imperfections. Truly, it's right. It's really right. Plus, a little bit of glitter gives you a little shine, gives your project a little shine. So sometimes that's a good thing to do. So I'll probably do that after they're really good and cured. Or I might rough them up a little bit and just paint them by hand too. But they need to finish because they had too much stuff on the back to suit me. And then these were the same way. In fact, if you can zero in on, I don't know how many.
If you bring it up a little bit more.
Maybe bring
towards
it
the middle.
toward the middle.
Right
Okay.
there.
Okay. She's going to see if she can zoom in for us so you can see a little bit more. Okay. You can see they're kind of messy still, even with the paint. So I'll definitely do a little bit more patching there on the back, because these are earrings, and so when they're hanging down, I put the ear wires already, but now they're like kinking up on me. Nice.
Kind of need a little bit
I'll
of
use the
space.
other one to show you, because it's not.
Oh, no, you did do space.
Now I can't remember what I want to say. Oh, it has a hole up here, which I've put a little bead spacer and then pierced, so it looks finished. The hole looks finished. Did the same down here, but you gotta make sure that you ream it out really good before you leave it, because the stuff will cure inside there, and then you'll never get anything through it unless you drill it out literally. I mean, seriously. But anyway, yeah, I need a little bit more finish on the back. And again, I use the
Was that a blank before?
yeah, I'm going to show you. We're going to do one. How about
Oh.
that? I get so distracted today. I don't know why. Anyway, I thought I did a pretty good job of teaching the other day. Today I'm a little bit flustery, so I'll do my best. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Yeah, these are going to be earrings. So what I wanted to say is they're going to hang down a little bit, and you don't want, there we go. You don't want like this whole back to be exposed and it's all ugly with epoxy sculpt all over it. I mean, if you have long hair, no one will see it, but that's not the point. The backs of earrings need to look decent, you know. So, since it's not plated product or anything like that, you know, we got to finish it. So I used the ball chain on the edges too. And I did spray paint it after it was done, which you can do. You set it up like that and spray, but I got a little too close, and instead of those light misting coats I tell you to do, I got a little bit of flash, which means my stones aren't as bright and sparkly as I'd like them to be. And now I'm going to have to clean them, but never fear, I can. I just have to take a little swab and just wipe them down a little bit, and I'll get that flash up off of it, and they will look fine. And then I have to put something here at the bottom yet, so when I get done with them, they're going to be really cool. So when we got done today, I have a little paperwork I need to do, and then after that I'm going to make jewelry tonight, and I will show you at the creative group and also at our community here a video. I don't know if you ever saw on the home page for Bisa Boutique's channel, there's a place where you can click on community, and if you go there, sometimes I'll put posts, you know, and show you pictures up close and stuff like that. So you might want to look there maybe tomorrow and see if it's there. So then here is, now we're getting to more freeform. This is completely freeform. Looks like wedding cake. It's little white roses on a heart, and it's a little bit crude and it's not done because I've got some little holes I got to fill in with pearls yet, but it wasn't my first one, guys. That's the thing. So whenever I do okay on my first one ever, I know there's hope. I know it's going to be okay. I just need to tweak, because when you look at the back of it, it's a little bit wonky, but you might be able to see, I don't know. I used the texture sheet on the back.
Can't really tell it's wonky.
You don't think so? I think it looks a little wonky. But anyway, it came out. It came out good enough I can use it, you know. I have to fill a little bit of pearl in here, but then I think it'll be done. I could possibly, if I want to bring out the details in this, I could dust it with a little bit of perfect pearls. Now, it's hardened, so I will have to use embossing ink if I do that, okay? It's only when Apoxie Sculpt is not cured, then you don't have to use it because it'll just adhere. Once it's cured, then you're going to have to. If
You
you
should
want
make another one of those.
Yo, you want to see another? You know, well, I'll tell you how I made it. All I made is I had a piece left, because I don't like to waste any of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I had a piece left, and I decided, let me see what I can do. So I made a long snake, you know. You know how you make snakes? Just rolled it out. Well, I had a long snake. And then I twisted it a little bit to give it a little texture. So I had a nice big long piece, and I said, I think I have enough I could manipulate this into a heart. So I started. And believe me, when I say manipulate, I mean manipulate. You know, you're going to have to move it around and this and that. And so one thing you might want to do is cut a little piece of silicone, or cut a little piece of your, you know, Ziploc, so that you can just take it and work on it all its own and just turn it around, everything, instead of picking it up all the time. Because when Apoxie Sculpt is not cured, if you're making a form out of it, when you pick it up, you know what happens? It distorts. So the weight of its own weight will pull down on itself, and so you're constantly putting it down here and pushing it back, you know, together. But I did, and it came out okay. So you might want to try that. All I did was make a big long snake, and then just worked with it until I had a nice heart, and then I pushed stuff into it, and voila, that's it. But the biggest thing that I felt hope about yesterday were these beads. My whole deal about Apoxie Sculpt was I wanted to be sure I could make beads out of it, because with polymer clay I can make nice organic looking beads, but I don't do polymer clay a lot because I always have to have a project to teach you guys, and we don't sell polymer clay, and I know you can get it anywhere, but I need to promote the things that I carry, so when I do these videos. But you know, really, just to tell you this so you know, anything you do with Apoxie Sculpt, like as far as making beads and all that, you can do it with polymer clay, no problem. So if you prefer to use polymer clay, do it. The only thing is, polymer clay will not adhere to itself. It's not freeze thaw. I have a list over here, but I'm just going to remember it. It's not freeze thaw stable. So if you had it outside or in weather, it's not going to do too good for you. You can't use just any sealant on it. You have to bake it. I mean, there are certain things it is different, you know. Apoxie Sculpt, on the other hand, it's really soft at first, and you kind of have to let it cure a little bit, you know. And there's a little bit more of a learning curve than polymer clay, but once you get onto that learning curve, you're going to be fine. So here's how I did it. I made snakes, again, to make these, and then I twisted them around this point thing. Now, you can't leave it on there because it will stick to this and you'll never get it off if it cures. But this is a really good reamer. So I made snakes around this, or even around a dowel, so long as you don't leave it on there. And then I pulled it off. And then I had, like 3-4 coils going around. And then I tamped it down and kind of condensed it a little bit. And then I just started reaming it a lot so that I was sure that I had a really good hole going in there that would go out the other side fairly evenly, because it can get off. This other one I'll show you going off a little bit. And then once I had that, what I did is I just took a little bead spacer and put it here. I didn't have bead cores, like, you know, for the Pandora beads and stuff like that. You can make those out of polymer clay and epoxy sculpt too, if you have the bead cores. But my supplier was out, so I don't have any right now. So what am I going to do? Well, I just put one of these little doodads here. I'll show you. A whole bag of 4 of them. And I don't have them on the site yet, but I will. They're on their way. Let's just say that. It's just, you can see them? Just these little round, they're metal.
You can probably use a jump ring too if you need to.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
not be
You know
bad,
those
yeah.
braided jump rings that we carry? Now, the smallest we carry is a 6mm, but that would be very pretty on there if you're making a bigger hole bead. But since I didn't want to make a really big hole bead, then I needed something kind of small. These worked great. I just had my hole, and I just took it and tamped it down in there and kind of mushed it a little bit, you know, and I was good to go. Then I took ball chain, and I wrapped it around it. And then I added a few little sparklers here. A few little stones on it. You know, I'm just playing around. This was the first one I ever made, so, you know, it doesn't really have any rhyme or reason to it. I just made it. And I have to tell you, I'm so thrilled because I know this is going to work. I know this is going to work. It feels so good in my hand when it's cured. It's a little heavy, a little bit. So you wouldn't want to probably make a necklace of only these. It might, I don't know for sure. It might be a little heavy. But they just feel good. Like I made this one too, and another side, I made this one too. They just feel good in my hand. You know what they look like? We carry them sometimes even. You know those Indonesian or Indian lock beads? When I say lock beads, it's L-A-H-K, I think. Or maybe it's L-A-K-H. It's something they've done in India for a long time. It's always intrigued me. That's what led me to polymer clay. That's what led me to epoxy sculpt. They would embed little mirrors and stuff down in it. When I grew up in the 60s, early 70s, a lot of hippie jewelry had lock in it, and it had the little mirrors, tiny mirrors, and seed beads and stuff in it. I always thought it was so cool. It all came from India, so they still make it there. Want to look it up? Maybe you get some ideas of what to put in your epoxy sculpt. But anyway, that's basically, you know, when I got done, I'm like, oh, like those Indonesian type beads I get, or like those Indian beads I get. The thing is you could put patterns into them if you want. You could paint them. You can make them from colored epoxy sculpt. I mean, possibilities are limitless. You just want to stick with little adornments that are maybe 4mm and less. And the ball chain is very cool for this. Also, what would be very cool for this?
Oh, somebody had a question. Brenda.
Sure, I'll stop.
Sandra and Cindy said you could use a rivet.
Yep.
Rivets or something.
Yeah, you could.
For the hole.
Sure, you could. You could use a rivet. Just be careful when you push it down in that you don't get anything into it. You know, make sure you ream it back out real good. You could definitely use a rivet. In fact, when I used to do a lot of polymer clay, I used rivets to finish my holes. And what I did was I would make my hole first with, you know, one of these deals, and then I would put a little liquid Sculpey right around the hole, and then I would put the rivet into it, and then I'd bake it, and I had rivets in my polymer clay. So you could, I forgot about that. So thanks for bringing that up. You can definitely use rivets, and especially if you get longer rivets, that'd be even better. Or if you can find bead cords, you want to make big hole beads, that's super duper. But really, to finish off your hole, all you need is a nice little twisted jump ring or something, or, you know, bead spacer, and stick it in there. It worked. You know, this is what it's all about, is being inventive and trying, you know, new things. But yeah, I like the way these feel. You know, they look okay. I'll use them. They look okay, but you know, I can do better. And the more of them I make, I'll decorate them better. But yeah. And then another thing too, and we're going to do beads in the class, by the way. You know, the workshop, May 14th to 16th, we're going to do some beads in that class too. And we'll explore it a little bit more. By that time, I'll have a lot more to show you as well. But we're going to do some beads in there. But yeah, there's so many ways you could go with it. You know, like I said, texture and other kinds of embellishments and shapes and whatever. This is going to work, guys. This is going to be good for you. So anyway, this is what I did yesterday. I'm happy with how it came out as far as art charms go. I had a few that I made a few weeks ago, and they're like okay, but they're a little bit wonky. I mean, I could use them, but they're just a little bit too thick on the back. I would also like to roll out some polymer clay flat and not have it too thick, and then do, you know, a big texture sheet on it, and then pull it off and have an imprint in it, and then colorize it and stuff. But oh, what I was going to tell you too, when you get around to making beads and stuff, you've got to let your epoxy sculpt set for a little while. You can't use it when it's real soft, because it'll just be dismal. You gotta let it start to just very slightly cure. Like say you have your working time on this optimally is about 45 minutes an hour. They say you can go as much as up to 3 hours, but maybe that's if you're sculpting with tools. I don't know. For me, an hour is about the max. Maybe it's the atmosphere in this house. I don't know. For me, an hour is about the max. So when you have got your clay and you've got a little piece of it laying over here, you know, and you're not using it, about half an hour in, about halfway in of your time, that's when you start doing the beads. And they'll come out great. Because I made beads with it before, and it was right after I mixed it up. And they were just too soft and they came out terrible. So anyway, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you a couple things today. Oh, this, did I show? Yeah, this is a little one. It came out good because I covered the back. Covering the back's not a bad idea, really not.
No.
And you know, with Apoxie Sculpt, when you're covering stuff, you don't need much. So anyway, I have to mix this up. I didn't do it yet because I want it to be completely fresh.
What color is that?
This is the hardener. And for anybody that hasn't been to any of my Apoxie Sculpt videos yet, this is probably going to be a good thing because I'm going to show you how to mix it up. And oh, by the way,
don't forget,
I have to put my gloves on. So where are they?
They're right there,
right in
Brenda.
front of me. There's too much stuff in here. Okay, so first thing you want to do when you're working with this, leave it closed till you get your clothes on. You always want to keep these closed. If you do, it will never dry out. It will be good for you. I mean, I used a couple of these sets already doing stuff. And I was good with it so long as I kept the top closed. What I was wondering is if I had one, say like, I had one I used it up and I cleaned it out really good and there was nothing in it. I wonder if I could put mixed Apoxie Sculpt in there and then seal it down and if it would stay fresh for another time.
I don't know. You can.
Cerulean, if you wrapped it up in, you know, a Ziploc real tight, like a double Ziploc, and then you put in the refrigerator, it would stay.
It probably won't.
Well, it's the same stuff, basically. What makes you think not if cerulean did? I guess the only way we can know is if we try it sometime.
Yeah.
Right?
Put it in a
Have
Ziploc
some leftover
afterwards.
stuff
Yeah.
and see. Yeah. I just didn't like the idea of putting it in my refrigerator. I just didn't.
Oh, somebody had an idea.
Yeah?
They said, Julie said, take an old bead that maybe isn't
And cover it.
great looking and wrap it with epoxy
Yeah.
and make something new. That's not a bad
Yes,
idea.
I've already thought of that. So you're right on the same page with me, Miss Julie.
Oh, Susan.
I want to do
here.
that.
Susan, I forgot how to say her last name.
Valeriano?
Yeah,
Suzanne Valeriano?
Sorry, I
From
can't-
over in Pittsburgh, not that far
Yeah, she
away from
made
us. She's a sweetheart and she is so talented. Oh my goodness. If you guys don't get her blog, you need to get it.
Yeah.
Silk Purse, it's called. You need to get her blog and look at the stuff she does because she is amazing. But she's here with us today because she wants to learn to do something different. So, anyway, that's all I know about
Oh,
that.
here, Colleen said, since Apoxie Sculpt has a chemical reaction, I think it would harden after you mix it, whether you keep it in a sealed container or not?
Well, I don't know, Colleen, because Cerulean is basically the same thing. Avies, the company that makes this, told me that before Swarovski had Cerulean, they used Apoxie Sculpt. And then they, made their own version of it, which is fine. It's free to do it, free to try. They didn't do anything wrong doing it.
So is this colored gray?
So it's really, no, this is the hardener is gray. So you always know you have the hardener, okay?
Okay.
And so I'm just picking it out of there. And also the hardener tends to be a little softer than the colored part. But anyway, you just have to, I have two big skewers, and one is white because that's what went in the color, and one is gray. And that's what I use to prick it and to, get it out of there. Push it out of there. You can use a spoon or whatever you want, but anything that you use to get it out needs to be dedicated to it.
Yep.
Okay? Because you would never want to like use the one like this one with the hardener on it in the part B, which is the color, because now it's wrecked.
That's true.
You just corrupted it. Now why is this?
That's why I was asking you.
This should be white.
Did you take a gray one, not a white
No,
one?
I took a new
Yeah,
thing of Epoxy Sculpt,
Yeah, I
a
think
whole
you
new
took
package.
the gray one.
No, this was in the package of Epoxy Sculpt.
Okay.
You maybe
That's the gray color, Brenda. That's what I was thinking. She didn't have gray. in
it's
it.
just this is what came in the package from Avies. Right, that package?
It says molding compound.
Yeah, you always get part A and part B in
This
one.
is natural.
Okay, that's why. All right, thank you. Okay, they threw me a loop.
Yeah. what I
Okay,
was
so I'm
thinking.
good. I can use it. You always want to make sure that you don't have two hardeners or two colors. Yeah, this is the comp product that Avies gave me to play with, and I got it out to use today. So I was expecting super white, and I'm like, no, that is not super white. So we're gonna have a natural look today, and that's fine because we can paint it, or you can mix color into. If you saw Lauren's little video that she had on Wednesday, she mixed color into it with alcohol inks. So you can do that.
Awesome.
Whatever you want. The main thing is to get the same amount. Now, somebody mentioned in the comments here, one way they do that is they use a little scale. It's
That's not a bad idea.
one half one, half of the other. Half people say, I never use a scale, I just eyeball it. And other people use a scale. I suppose the people that use a scale would always have sweet success, though, if they weighed it. So what she does is she always measures, like if she's making a bunch of beads and she wants them to come out the same size, she always measures, like she weighs it. She'll weigh this ball and she'll weigh that ball and make sure she has exactly the same. Now here's how I do it. I got my stuff out. This is the hardener, and I'm making a ball out of it, okay? And it works out pretty good, see? And then I'm going to make this. This is the color, the natural color, and I'm going to make it into a ball. All right, now I'm going to eyeball them. This has a little bit more than that, which, if that happens and you have a little bit more hardener in it than color, you're good to go. Don't worry about it. You're fine. But if you have more color in it, it won't cure. No kidding, it won't. Alrighty, so I need to get a little bit more of this. And you know what? After I use this, I'm going to have to throw it out because I always used it for super white. So I'll have to either save it for this or throw it out because I don't want to, you don't want to corrupt your colors. You don't want to corrupt your hardener. You have to really watch that and be careful and be thinking what you're doing so that you don't corrupt it because you won't get a good result. I mean, who wants to sit and work with this stuff? And it takes you a while to get it done, and you have this beautiful thing done, you're so proud of it, and then it never cures. Jeez. And so just be sure you don't do that. If you want to be sure you have it exactly right, get one of those little scales like you measure resin. Some people weigh their resin too. Those little tiny scales, you can get them on Amazon for like $10. And that's what we use to weigh jump rings. Okay, now I think I have a little bit more of this. I'm just going to pinch a little tiny piece off. And I think I'll be about right. And it'll be okay to put it back in there. It's not going to hurt anything. It doesn't have any hardener yet, so I just put it back in here. Okay, so now I'm going to, and then I'm going to start mixing them together. Now what I like about doing the super white or another color with the hardener, you can always tell when it's done mixing. I wonder how hard that's going to be to know, because
that's what I was thinking.
they're like so much the same, you know, but anywho, I might take a little tiny piece of that off and just forget about it, because I think there's too much. All right, now I'm going to mix them together, and I just kind of, you know, rub them like a snake and just fold them around and roll them and, you know, whatever. They say it takes about 2 minutes to mix it, and I'm sorry to use up 2 minutes of this video doing that, but some of you haven't done this before, and I really wanted this super fresh, so I didn't mix it up before the video. So we'll just have to mix it up together. How's that? So who's here, Javi? While we're mixing, we got a little bit of time. Who showed up? Well, there's a bunch of them tonight.
Cassidy Wood, Colleen.
Colleen's here.
Colleen's here. Julie, Betty Strongman, Laura Wooten.
Yeah, Lori Wooten's here. Yeah.
Sorry.
She said she missed the Sunday live.
Michelle.
Florist.
Mm-hmm. Jewelry Tree.
Well, that's somebody new, I think,
I
to
guess
us.
so, yeah.
Welcome.
Hello,
Thank you for
welcome.
coming. Thank you for coming.
Sandra. I don't know how to say her last name either.
Maybe I can. I believe Sandra Averish. I think she's new to us too.
Debbie from California. Julie Hoffman. Let's see. Andrea Skinner.
Oh, Andrea, how you doing?
Gloria.
Miss Gloria's here.
Cindy Peterson.
Cindy Peterson. We got to
else
get
do
that. You know, Cindy said to me, I haven't heard from Javi yet for the challenge.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to get to that.
She's serious about it.
I know. I need to.
Cindy
Cindy
Cindy says
message
something.
you on
She
Facebook,
is
Cindy.
serious about it.
I'll
She
message
wants
you
to
on
do it.
Facebook. I still have to
Yep.
think of what
Cindy,
I'm
Cindy
gonna do.
messaged me, just I never heard anything from Javi about the
Yeah, I need to do that.
the thing. I said, well, Javi is a brilliant girl, but
I need time.
she is the great communicator, not.
Not really. Yeah, I'm sorry. I will FaceTime message you after the video.
Okay, she said it. You guys all heard it.
Yeah. Cindy.
Okay, so I think we're ready to work with this now. This is soft. Let me tell you what, this is soft.
Soft?
Yeah,
Really?
it's too soft to work
Don't you have
with.
to wait a while?
Yeah, they tell you to wait.
I think it was
just
5 minutes.
yeah. I think for what I'm gonna do, just a few will be fine because I need it to be a little bit soft. So now I'm getting rid of my gloves. You always glove up when you're mixing it because that's when the chemical reaction occurs, and you do not want to expose your skin to. I mean, if you did, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but if you did it all the time, you could get sensitized to the stuff, and then you get allergic to it and never be able to use it anymore.
Could you still use your gloves even after you're doing the whole project?
Yeah, but gloves are cheap. You're looking like you want to save all your gloves?
No, I want to just keep using the gloves on, not touch.
Oh, you want to leave them on?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's
I
what
don't
I was-
like
that's
it.
what I
I don't
meant.
like how it feels.
Oh yeah, I
That's
totally
why
agree.
That's why
just
I
wanna
take
know.
it off. And here's the thing: when you work with gloves on, then you get glove marks. If you work with them off, then you get fingerprint marks or
Yeah,
nail
you
marks. and
can't
it's
win
just
either
like-
way.
I would prefer to deal with fingerprint marks because it's just weird. I don't like. But anyway, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do one of these deals today. Okay.
Oh, here's Christina. She says, I'm new to your channel. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Thanks
Welcome,
for visiting
Christina.
us, Christina. Welcome for
And
coming.
Terry Brown as well.
Oh, I love to see new people
New
here.
people, hi.
That's
I'm gonna
fantastic.
Gonna say chicken.
Yeah, that's Javi. You know, Javi's a child, so she has to have her toys.
Oh, she's from the UK.
She's
Whoa,
not a child.
awesome.
Oh, from the UK, cool. We have a lot of wonderful customers and
all
friends
new
and
people.
creative pals
And the old ones
that,
I still love you.
are from UK. Love them, love them, love them. I'm trying to learn how to talk like that. I've been watching all
Talk
those,
like what?
from England.
Oh, I can't do it.
No, me neither. I'm terrible. I've been watching all those movies, like historical movies and stuff like that. And,
Aw. Terry's so nice. She says, "Thank you so much for the hard work of all you put
Oh,
into
my
everything. You're awesome."
goodness. Oh, you're awesome too, honey.
Yeah, I know. Awesome.
Javi, they weren't
They're
talking
all
about
awesome. No, I wasn't talking about them. I'm talking about them. They're awesome. You guys make us stand
Yeah,
out.
I'm watching all these, English type movies,
That's pretty cool.
and I can't do it. And I've been
Pictures
reading
actually?
about how the actors from over there, they have to work really hard to learn to talk like us.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Yeah.
And some of them are super good at it, and some of them are not.
Yeah, I'm amazed half the
Yeah.
time.
So
I'm like,
anyway, as you can see, I made 2 little balls of clay here, so they're
Two
pretty
balls of
even, so that I can work on these. I may not do the second one today, just so we can do a little bit more together, but because I want to do a free form too. But anyway, I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to stick it in the middle. This piece is the one that makes this, okay? And I'll put it in the middle, and then I'm just going to push it down. And I don't want to get it too far out the sides because then I'm going to have a lot of cleanup. And in fact, this might be a little too much, but we shall see. And then I'm just going to start pushing it out. Don't worry if it gets like, you see like mixing marks or something, like, when you were mixing. Don't worry about that. Like this, see here, this? Don't worry
Mary.
about that.
Mary said, "What color are you using?"
This is natural,
Natural.
which I have to say I'm not a fan.
No,
But once I get it adorned,
I don't think we have that.
I
color.
may like it. No, we don't have that color.
We have a red.
We
color.
have
We have blue, red.
We have blue, red,
Black.
yellow, because they're primary colors and you can mix them.
black.
They mix to make other colors. We have black and white. So far, since we brought the product in, black and white are what people choose. So,
Yeah.
and given how
I took blue.
you can mix your own custom color with it, I don't know if it's necessary for us to have all those colors, really.
Yeah, you probably can just.
White and black would be
Yeah.
enough, I think.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking you could use the white and just dye
Next
it.
week I have to order in
Another
so I have
color.
enough for kits for the class.
Mhm.
Everybody that buys a kit is going to get a whole pound of it.
A pound?
Yeah, that means you get 8 ounces of hardener, 8 ounces of the color. And it's going to be
Whoa.
super white, okay?
Whoa.
So, because we got a lot of projects to do in
A
class.
lot of
And
projects,
especially
yes.
that Sailor's Valentine. That's the first time we've ever done anything that was not jewelry. And the substrate I'm going to provide is a heart shape. It's not the octagon that was used so much in the old ones, but it's going to be a heart shape, and it's not going to be huge, but it's going to be big enough you can work on it easy. Okay, so you can see I'm getting this covered, and I'm doing my best not to get anything on the back. I've got a little bit clean up here, here, okay, and then I got to pierce the holes out. Now, one thing I have to say, I think I want to take a little bit of it off in the middle here, because I don't need this much. And what will happen is when I start putting my stuff into it, it'll be too thick and it'll push out. Just like, I always say, when you put stuff in water, what happens? The water level rises. Who was the guy that figured that? Eureka, I found it. He's the guy, the Greek guy, who was a scientist. Archimedes, I think, was? I don't know. But anyway,
I have no idea.
but he was the one that figured all that stuff out about, hey, if you put something in water, the water level rises. So, that made me think of an old Bill Cosby thing. Hey, if you put a bullet in a furnace, it reflects on your mother. You had to be there. We used to get the recordings back in the 60s. And we laughed a lot. Okay, so this one, okay, I'm going to put that
Sorry.
up. That's ready to go. What are you talking about?
I don't know. My brain just
This
went
is-
the opposite
yeah, I know.
direction.
I'm
It's
just,
like,
I
what?
thought I did such a
about?
good job the other day. I thought I was so clear, and today I'm just like.
It's okay. It's okay. It happens to everybody.
Well, so long as you can understand me, Jens.
Okay, Yins.
Now, you people in the UK, if you don't know what Yens is, if you hear somebody in the United States say Yens, instead of like you all, like down south they say y'all. Okay.
Y'all.
And then
That's-
toward Philadelphia they say yous. Yous guys.
You really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. If you
That's
hear
proper
somebody
English.
say Yens, if Suzanne's still with us, she knows what I'm going to say, because she lives there. You live in or near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because that's Pittsburghese. There's a whole bunch of little expressions that are kind of indigenous to Pittsburgh, and that's one of them.
Yeah, I had to get used to it with my stepdad
Yeah.
like that. I was like,
Yeah.
what is he talking about? What
Yeah.
is rubbish?
Yeah, rubbish.
He's like the
Spigot.
trash.
The
And I'm
spigot,
I'm
you know,
like,
that's the
"What?"
little, like when you turn the water on, where the
And
water
then
comes out.
I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like a new whole world out here.
Yeah, it's a new language. It's a colloquialism. Okay, you guys can see I'm putting these around the holes so that I have like a nice finished hole.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, but you gotta be sure you get it reamed out. Oh, it didn't press down in good. If you
Uh-oh.
don't press it down in good enough, it won't hold. But if you do, oh baby, it's staying forever. Yeah, so anybody, when you hear somebody say yins, Ewans, they live in around Pittsburgh, toward the southern part of Pennsylvania, going over into Ohio, which I live right on the line in Ohio. If you go 2 miles down the road, you're in PA here.
Yep.
So
I
I only
kinda
live
like that.
about 35 miles from a Pittsburgh airport.
I kind of like that. I just go get pizza on one side and
Yeah.
go shop on the other.
Yeah, we go over there because they don't have tax on clothes over there.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, some are cheaper with food and the other ones are not. So.
And some are just like
And one has
anywhere.
no taxes on clothing, so I'm going to go take that opportunity.
Oh yeah, especially people getting kids school clothes.
Oh, I
on.
know,
Yeah,
right?
that helps. Okay, so I got that one on.
Mm.
Let's do the next one. We got time because it's nice and soft.
Yeah.
If it was hardening up already, I'd say, oh man, I can only do one now. But no, we're good. I'm just going to pinch a tiny bit of this off because I had to reduce it on this one. Do you know, actually, till I make this with like gold accents, it might be kind of pretty.
Yeah. Could you paint it afterwards or anything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I always wondered.
Lauren put texture on her project for the Wednesday video at the group, and then she painted it. Yeah, Apoxie Sculpt is totally paintable. You can paint it any color, but then you can paint polymer clay too. So that's
Okay.
one place where they're alike. I'm getting this. I might have maybe needed to leave that on.
Here, somebody asked a very, very good question.
Let's hear it.
Terry Brown said, do either of you wonderful women ever offer your time to answer questions or a one-on-one class?
I used to. When we had our shop, ladies sometimes would come for the weekend, and I'd spend 2 days with them, just me and them, and we had a blast. But then I found out I have so much work to do that I couldn't keep doing a whole weekend. I just basically can do my workshop, which is a whole long weekend every year. But so I don't know. I'll do a consult for maybe an hour if you have questions that you just
Yeah.
can't get answered anywhere
Yeah,
else.
she said, of course, for money, of course. But,
yeah, it does cost money.
Yeah,
if you-
and we do have this class coming up in May, too.
Yeah, and
so
you can
guys,
come to that,
especially for Apoxie Sculpt.
Yeah,
we're doing
you'll have 3 days.
3
over
days,
there.
and you can ask questions.
And then you're going to be in a
galore.
classroom that lasts a month. And at the end of the classroom, Javi and I do another live video. So, I mean, you get your money's worth for that. That's $125 for that.
Yeah, and I think that's 3 videos for
Right.
Friday.
And that's
3
a
for
screaming
Saturday.
deal because if I'm going to do a personal consult, it's $95 an hour. And I know that sounds awful, but it's because my time is so limited. That's why. It's not because and anybody can call here if they need 5 minutes of my time. I'll give it to them. I used to go to a therapist a long time ago, Richard. I even did a video about Richard one time because I have ADHD, and he was my therapist for that, and he was awesome. And he passed away, sadly, but I never will forget so many of the things that Richard taught me. And one of the big things he taught me was that you always have 5 minutes for somebody.
Yes.
Always have 5 minutes. Because he would, his patients would call in, and, they were upset and stuff like that because he was a psychologist. And after 5 minutes, he'd tell them, you have to come in. So, after 5 minutes or so, then we have to do a consult. But no. And if you have questions about the workshop, definitely call me. Definitely
Yes.
call me. I'll tell you anything you need, and if it goes over 5 minutes, not to worry. I don't want to see as many people in that class as we can get, because the more
Yes.
the merrier. And we don't have to limit it because it's not at a venue. We're, you know, again this year we're doing it online.
Yeah, and it's Friday,
And
Saturday, and
so-
Sunday.
Yeah, but that's what we would have done if we were at the Dutch House too.
Yeah, that's true.
online.
I know.
And in that case, I can only fit so many too. But this
That's true.
one, there's
This
no.
is unlimited.
It's unlimited. As many as want to come can. It's fine. But yeah, we're doing
3
it now.
days of
And
fun.
there's a link. Maybe Javi, you could put the link up for
Yeah, I
the
did.
workshop.
I
you?
did put the link in before. I can just
You
put
already
it
did
in.
it? Okay. So you can go there and read about it. And if you have any questions,
Oh,
you
man,
can
I
call me or
pin
you
message.
can write to me.
The message has been pinned to the top. Now, anybody signed up for the class, there's a pinned onto the top of the
Yeah.
chat.
Somebody signed up last night.
Woohoo!
And then the first
Sorry.
week I released it,
excited.
we had about 16. So
Yeah,
that with
more
the
the
one
merrier.
that signed up last night, we've got now 17. But
Whoa.
I expect there will be more, good bit more. I expect there will be. I can't believe there went. Last time we had 55, I think. wasn't
Whoa, for the UV
it?
resin?
Or maybe it was just close to 50. I don't remember.
Maybe
I have
it
to go
was
back and
close
look
to
again.
50.
But yeah, we had a big crowd last time. And it was fun. You know?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot more.
Yeah, it's not.
This is just a preview,
Right.
a little
It's-
snippet.
Yeah, but as you can see, this is how you cover, you know, a blank. Or like somebody mentioned, I can't remember who it was, but it was a fantastic idea, and I had already thought of it, but had not done anything about it. So I'm so glad you brought it up. About covering old beads. We've done it before.
Yeah,
The old
I-
pearls,
Yeah,
old pearl
yeah.
beads. We've done that. We've covered them with mica powders
Now that I
and
think about it.
tissue decoupage paper, and it was awesome. So why not? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Big why not?
Especially if one's like cracked or something.
Yeah.
That's me.
Or a big. You know what? You don't want heavy
Need
beads.
fix-
I'll tell you that right now.
Aw, man.
You don't want heavy beads because this will add a little weight too, and then whatever you put on will add a little weight, and you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I wanna hold
You'd be
one.
surprised how it adds up. You know.
That's not too, well, it is
No,
a
they're
little
not.
heavy.
Excuse
Never
me, they're
mind.
not too heavy. But if you put a bunch of them on a
I just
strand,
never,
you're
I
gonna
didn't
know
think it
you're
was too
wearing
heavy,
something.
but it actually,
It's not too heavy, but
not too heavy, but it's
but
heavy.
if you had a whole necklace full of them,
Yeah.
it might be too heavy to
That's
wear.
true.
So it might be a good idea if you found plastic or pearl beads that you could cover, because then it would make them way less. I know people who do polymer clay beads sometimes do
I
that.
just had an idea.
So with this one, we spend a lot of time covering.
You can make a spinner bead with this. Just put
Oh,
wire at the end and make
absolutely.
it spin.
Javi, that's your project.
Oh, man.
That's your next
I
video.
got a lot of projects.
That's your next video. Yeah, she does. She's gonna be a busy girl real soon.
I still just do it.
So anyway, I use this tool. You might see me using this tool here.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta get them on the site because I just got a whole bunch of them, and they're not expensive at all. I just love this point because it's so good for sculpting and trimming and making holes. And then I use the back part
Uh-huh.
right here to like tamp down.
Oh, that's not a bad
Like
idea.
that.
I didn't even think
It works for
about
me.
that.
I mean, there's any number of things you could use for that. You don't have to use this,
Well, I would have used a
but
toothpick.
it
though.
works on. Well, that works too. I would use a toothpick.
I don't know. I would use a toothpick.
Okay,
But then
so,
the toothpick would ruin it.
no, it won't. I'm gonna use it now.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I'm just
I
too
always
scared.
like to see if I can get a toothpick through, because in that way I know I won't.
Oh,
I won't
that's not
have
a bad
problem probably getting a jump ring through. I
Oh.
won't have to go looking for a skinny jump ring or go make my own. You know, it'll be there. Okay, so now I've got this reamed out, real good. It's covered nice. There's not much on the back. Woohoo! Maybe I'm learning something, huh? Not too much cleanup with that. There's a little bit with this. Now, if you get it before it cures, you can get it off. But once it cures, forget it. The only way you can get it off is maybe if you sand it off. And then you got to be careful with that because you could distort the piece or whatever. Okay.
Aw. Lori said, I hope you will continue the online yearly workshop for us who can't travel. Aw, we should definitely do that. Brenda.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good thing because I had so many people write to tell me after the last one, thank you, because I've always wanted to come to one of yours, but it's expensive, and it is.
You
You
have
got travel, you've got a hotel. The hotel, I like to have it in the same hotel where we stay. So those
Yeah.
rooms are like 110 a night, you know, and then you have food and all the other stuff. If you rent a car to come from the
Oh, yeah,
airport,
that's true.
you know, so
It's a lot.
it's expensive. Now some of them double up in that, so that helps.
Yeah.
But with this, you got no travel expense, no travel whatsoever. If you have, you know, problems with your health or whatever, and travel is difficult for you, you know, don't have to worry about it. No travel, no extra money. You just pay the workshop fee, and then there is a kit fee if you want the kit. You do not have to get the kit. Sometimes people just like to watch, and they'll decide after the class if they want to really do it or not. But they're interested enough to see, they want to see what it is, and see what this is about.
Aw, Betty agrees.
Betty agrees.
Betty agrees. I agree, Lori. Yearly workshops are perfect.
Yeah, so I do think even if we get to the place where we can have the in-person one again, I'm definitely going to do one online, maybe a month later or something, because I got to tell you, when we do those workshops, it takes a lot of steam out of me. Because we have to lug everything over there, and I mean, I'm not complaining because it's a wonderful experience. But you know, a lot of people can't afford it anymore either, and sometimes it's hard to get enough to fill a class, and I have to have at least 16 or I can't do it. So, because we
That
have to
makes a
pay
lot of
for
sense.
insurance and all other kind of garbage. Yeah, event insurance, which is not cheap. 'Cause it's liability.
No.
It's liability
Come
insurance.
on, Eric.
So, hotel won't let us there if I don't buy it and have a certificate. So, okay, so now all I have to do is adorn this. I'm ready to adorn it. So what shall I adorn it with? Well, I did my other one with this kind of stuff, and it worked out pretty good. This is a little bead mix that I've been giving you free in the boxes. Those of you who've been getting orders lately. Oh, yeah, for those of you who are not in a creative group, don't know about or don't get my newsletter, we have been doing a drawing every day this weekend, for a long weekend. We had one Friday, we had one Saturday, we had one Sunday. We're having a drawing for this, too, for this
Yeah.
class, but we're also having a drawing. I found these sweet 48-piece glass bottle glitters and all kinds of whatnot stuff. It's just fantastic. And I thought, you know what? I don't have enough here to sell. I got them for a sample to see what they were. I said, I don't have enough here to sell. And everybody's going to want them. So you know what? Let's just do a drawing. So we've been doing a drawing every day. And I still have to announce the winner of last night. But there's a drawing today, too. So if you make an order at our website, say you want to try a few little things, well, you can, and then you can get entered into the drawing. Because it's any kind of order. I don't care if it's a small order. You don't have to give me a big order. You never have to give me a big order. I don't have a minimum. The only thing is once you give me $50, I give you free shipping. And you know what? That's nothing to sneeze at, because shipping is getting expensive. Okay, another thing I want to mention, getting off that subject, is you want to keep some baby wipes by you all the time and be wiping it off. Like this, your tools too, like your metal tools. Like this, I don't care if there's these skewers. I don't care about that. But, you know, on your tweezers and all that kind of stuff, you definitely want to be wiping it off all the time. I don't know why I didn't bring my big tweezers down here. But I got little ones, so I'm good. All right. So now we're just going to adorn it together, okay? So now you can see how to cover it. Does anybody have any questions about how to cover it? It's basically mix up your Apoxie Sculpt, let it sit for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then take a piece off that's about the size of a pea, start in the middle, and just squish it out to the edges. And be as careful as you can that you do not get any on the back, okay? And you don't want it to be too thick either, because of the water displacement theory, you know? It's the Apoxie Sculpt displacement theory. If you put too much that stuff on there, or anything, I don't care if it's a little pearl, if it's too thick, it'll smush it out and it'll come out the edges, and you will not like that. Let me just tell you what, you are not going to like that. All right. I also have something that if you don't have one yet, you might want to consider. This is just a little tip from me to you. I make these little plastic, you know, you get these anywhere. I don't carry them, but you can get them anywhere. At this time I don't, because my supplier went out of business. Nice. I just love that. That's why I'm
Especially
trying.
during
That's why I'm
pandemic.
trying so hard not to go out of business, because it's annoying to have to get new suppliers, especially a good one like me. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Oh, that was kind of funny.
That was coming, yeah. So anyway, I got some cool stuff I can use here, and I don't think I want to make it just like this one. So I'll just get some other things out, and we'll just see how far we get. But this part, now when you get to this part, if you kind of have an idea of what you want to do, it won't take long. Some people say, hey, if you're going to work with epoxy sculpt, you need to be knowing what you're doing first. And I would say, so true, because it does cure quick. But on the other hand, you need to experiment sometimes too, you know. You all know that. Everybody has to experiment. I gotta try something new. Okay, so now let's see what happens here. I think I'll put this one here. Since they're earrings, I want to make them mirror. So I'll put one off to the side here, and I'll put one off to the side here. And you know, I call it mosaic, and sometimes it truly is. We fill in every available spot, and there you can't see any epoxy sculpt through it. It's completely covered. Sometimes we do that, but it's not necessary. You don't have to do that. You can let some show. Even when you're doing, you know, traditional mosaic, you know, you let the grout show sometimes, right? So, and I do so much want to learn to do the traditional mosaic as well. And I want to break china and glass and all that other stuff. So, once I get good at that and I know how to use my tile nippers and my wheel cutters real good and in a safe way, I will come on here and teach you. In the meantime, if you're curious about it, I would have to recommend my friend Peter Twining from Treasury Road. Pete's a member of the group, and he's a sweetheart. He's from Australia, and he's a really good teacher, and he loves mosaic, assemblage and mosaic. So if you want to check Pete's channel out, I think he's got a video on it. But Bisou will have one too eventually. Okay, so I think I'm going to take a bugle bead and just stick it there, because I'm not going to put ball chain on this one. Just stick it there because I can, okay? And then I'm going to put this one here. So it's going to have kind of, these are going to have kind of a contemporary flair, I think, looking at them. Unless I start putting roses and stuff on them, then that's blonde, right? Anyway, I have these mini tweezers I do not like, but I'm going to have to use them. Put that there. So I didn't bring my big ones down. I can't believe I did. I even had my stuff prepared ahead of time. I still forgot. Oh,
I'm trying to think whose reborn daughter.
oh, I know too.
Is it
And I can't.
Kristen? Oh, Kemp? Is it Kristen Kemp?
No, I don't think so.
I can't
I
tell.
don't think it's Christine Kim. If you want to tell us who you are, reborn, I know you.
I know. My brain just.
If you don't, that's okay too. Some people prefer to be anonymous.
Colleen said, I like the metal with the natural color.
Yeah, it's looking good,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's kind of like this pea green, khaki type, army green type color. And I'm liking it. Of course, you know, not everyone can wear this color.
Well, that's true.
You have to be really special to wear this color. And I can wear it.
Well, that's wonderful.
So
Brenda.
I'm
I know I
special.
can't.
I'm special. Mm-hmm.
Here you go. I made a spinner bead while we were talking.
You made it. Oh, look at you! Look at you! Look at how you made. She made a spinner bead. You know, she has a video on how to make a spinner bead with wire. Woohoo!
Yeah, I do.
Woohoo! That came out great.
Oh, she said yes, Javi. That was her name, Kristen Kemp.
Oh, it is Christine's. Okay, I didn't
Chris
think
Kemp.
it was.
Chris Kemp, I think it was.
Hi, Chris. How you doing, darling?
Yee. Hi.
We love our Christine. She's a sweetheart.
I just
She
wanted to
likes
read
that
something
B.
new.
1928 stuff.
I love that stuff too.
Yep.
Who
It's
doesn't?
Pretty good. Pretty good. For those of you who are new to us and don't know what in the world I'm talking with, I have a little bit of an association with the 1928 Jewelry Company, which is a famous jewelry company, was in every department store around the world. It still is in some. The owner's a good friend of mine, and we do little projects and things together, and he's always trying to talk me into something. But anyhow, so he asked me if I would like to have my own line of castings, and I'm like, are you kidding? Yes. He says, well, then you have to come out to California and pick them out, and I'll make them for you. Of course, I do have to pay for them, but they weren't free. Well, some of them were. He did give me some free. No kidding, he did. To get me started, to get me hooked, I think. Anyway, so yeah, it comes from 1928 Jewelry Company, and if you're familiar with their jewelry, you know it's rather wonderful. These are the parts that they've made their jewelry from. Now they let us have them to play with. How about that? So you can make your own version of 1928 jewelry, or just your own designer style that has nothing to do with that, whichever you like. We carry them at bcboutiques.com. There are going to be new things here before too long. Throughout the summer, we're going to start doing collections on that, where there are maybe 3, 4, 5 pieces that all go together, and they are going to be derived from the old lines. And the one I'm working on right now is an old line called Avonlea, and it had the little rose. And we already have some parts that have the little rose Y connector, the little rose dangly thing, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, you're going to be able to get a bunch more of that, because I found the old lines in the old catalogs. And so I'm sending Mr. Bernie the style numbers so he can locate the parts, and then we're going to make them. Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to attach something without glue. Like you can see down in here, you know, it's got kind of well to it. You know, you would have to glue that. In which case, if I decide I'm going to glue, I will do that after. But if I want to go ahead and do it, then I need to get me little tiny thing. Little tiny. Who used to do that? Rosanna Dana. That's who. Now, if you know who that was.
No.
Yeah, you're too young. Sorry, you're too young.
I don't know a lot.
Gilda Radner. She passed away.
Aw.
Yeah, she was so funny. Oh my goodness.
Really?
Oh, she was.
Anybody who can make me
She
laugh
was
is
like
funny.
some of the original. She was like in the original Saturday Night Live cast.
Mm.
The original ones, like Chevy Chase and John Belushi and all them guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've got these little, balls of stuff here. That might actually even be too much, but I'm going to chance it and push it down into it. If it is too much, you know how you're going to know? That water displacement theory again, that epoxy sculpt displacement theory is going to start
Overflowing.
coming out all
Yeah.
these edges. And you might like that. You might say, hey, that looks like a little setting. How cool is that? Fine. You might hate it, and then you're going to have a bunch of cleanup.
Mm.
This one I think I have a little bit too much, so I'm going to just kind of get rid of it. You really don't need much. You really don't need much. But yeah, Apoxie Sculpt is a great glue. Sometime I want to do a video on doing a big assemblage necklace like we do, and don't use any glue. Just use Apoxie Sculpt.
Yeah.
See how far I get. I think I can pretty much do the whole thing except maybe the little tiny pearl stuff. I might have to use something. Or
Yeah.
micro beads. Might have to use that. But, yeah, I think it might work. So I'm just getting a little tiny bit and putting in there. Stuff on. Anybody asking any questions?
Any questions?
Anybody sleeping yet?
I don't know. There's some watching out here.
See, now here's a case in point. Maybe it's a good thing. It just kind of came up the edge.
Oh, they said I was clever on doing that spinner bead.
Sure you are.
Yeah, I made a
The
video
only
a
thing
long
I
time
would
ago.
say, yeah, you did. The only thing I would say, was this 20 gauge?
No, it was 22. I
was
got
gonna say,
whatever you
that's
had
kind
over
of
there.
that's kind of wimpy wire.
Yeah, I
there.
was about to say.
I would actually go with 18 or 16
18
or 16 even if you can get it through there.
Yeah, that's true because
Something
it
a
is
little
a
more
bigger hole.
substantial, and then you could make it, and then you could hammer this part,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
it'd be super cool.
Yeah, I used 22. I seen whatever you had over there. I was
Yeah,
like, I better just
normally
take what-
20 is my go-to.
Yeah, me too.
but there are sometimes like 18 or 16 better. And I like to make bezels out of like 14 or 12.
Yeah.
Then they are cool. They are cool for
That's
filling.
true.
That's what we did in the class last year,
Mhm.
if you remember. It was fun. Everybody was saying, you know, that was just almost as good as being there. And you know what's really great about it, guys? When I'm doing a live class, people have to come up in groups
Yeah.
to hang over my shoulder and see me do it. I have to repeat the same thing over and over, okay? Which is fine, I don't care. But you don't see it as good. With this, you can, from the overhead, you can see everything. And if you can't see good enough, you need to let us know. Because maybe
Yeah.
Javi can zoom down on it
Yeah.
a little bit better or something.
Mary had a question.
Let's hear
Can
it.
you paint the epoxy sculpt?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Yes, you can. You can paint it whatever you,
You can
feel.
totally. So if you hate this khaki green, and some of you might, then you can paint it.
Oh, I thought it was great.
Just go for it. Okay, now where it gets hard is if I want to
Oh,
put
well.
something in these. Now, I don't want to put them in these because these are our hanging holes, right? So I want to do that. So we only have 1, 2, 3 more things we can put stuff in. Now, this, if I don't know if you guys can possibly see it, you probably can't, but there's just a little bead of epoxy sculpt coming up through that, and you know what that's good for? It's just enough to set a stone into.
Yeah.
Just enough, so we won't have to add any to that. So I'm gonna pick up a little stone. I got my crystal katana. I think it's wore out though. I think I need to go and get one of our pick-me-up tools.
Yes, Brenda.
We have lots of them too, and they work just as good as this. Really.
Exactly. Maybe better.
I don't know. I just have always see. Look at that, fit perfect. Look at that. So you have the little jump ring has made you like a bezel, and you got
Yeah.
your little stone down there. So let me see if I got another little, because I need a little itty bitty tiny clear crystal stone. So here's one. Okay. Now you want to be sure you get it tamped down in there right, and it didn't go like a little bit crooked, because that's not a good look when it's cured. I think this might be.
Yeah, I had
more
to check
crooked.
one time when I was doing that with the glue and the stones, make sure
Yeah.
upside down.
At the 1928 company, they take a cup, like a Dixie cup, and they cut the bottom off, and they hold it down over it, and they say that it helps them see if they've
Huh.
missed stones or anything, see any
I
flaws.
didn't know that.
I'll tell you what. We'll also tell you if you have flaws and imperfections is once you take a picture of it.
Yeah.
That's the be all and end all. If you've messed up, you're gonna know then.
Uh-oh, gray hair showing.
Yeah, my gray hair's showing. It is definitely gray. It's even white in places. And I'm fine with that. I am embracing the fact that I am not young anymore. And I have this hair, and I'm actually letting it grow out a little bit. I've not had hair this long in a long time. I can pin it up now. I'm not gonna let it grow all down my back or anything, but I just want to see what it looks like. If I don't like it, I'm just get it cut. No biggie. Kind of like being able to put it up. Okay, I think I can get a little stone in there too, but it's gonna have to be super baby sized. I don't know if I have. I might have. Oh, that's a color. I don't want a color one. I want clear.
No Beansy today.
Yeah, she said she was coming.
I thought so too.
She lied.
Where are you, Beansy? We're gonna be like, memo for Beansy. Where were you?
I wrote a blog post about the value of an item. Like I wrote one the other day about how it's hard for us sometimes to get our price for our work. Those of us that sell, and are professional artisans. Like I guess you could call me one. And a lot of us are professional artisans. And we make our money from this. Okay, so I got one in there.
Julie says, Brenda, your hair is beautiful.
Well, you're quite kind. I needed to wash it this morning. I didn't get to it.
Oh, you're fine.
So I'm kind of glad that
Straighten my hair.
I'm not showing myself much today.
I haven't straightened my hair in a year.
You haven't straightened your hair in a year.
In a year.
Yours has little waves in it.
Yeah, I don't like it. Sometimes I like it, but it gets too fizzy.
Yeah, you have a lot of hair. She's got so much hair. Oh my goodness, she's got enough hair for 2 people.
Yeah, I think I might donate this time.
Are you?
Bam.
You're gonna cut it
Yeah.
off and donate it?
Yeah. Because I always do this. I'll wait a little longer, and then I'll donate it. And then nobody complains then.
Oh, that's nice.
I haven't donated, and I always have long hair.
Well, it's nice if you could donate your hair.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? You don't need it anymore. Why should
I'm
you just
dying
go in-
anyways.
Why should you just go in garbage and get burned up and
Yeah,
incinerated,
exactly.
right?
Somebody did use it, like, for, like, testing stuff, but that's
Uh-huh.
pretty much it.
For-
Like, whenever I trim my hair,
Uh-huh.
they used it, like, to test, like, dyes
To
and
colors
stuff.
to
Yeah.
make colors. Yeah.
'Cause my hair is
that's
kinda hard to
kinda
do.
cool.
Yeah, I thought so, too. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, use it. Yeah, a beautician would love to have some of your hair, hobby, because
Yeah,
they
I
could make
know.
themselves swatches. Swatches. Okay, this is going to be the hardest one, I'll tell you that right now. After I finish this one, I want to do a free form, and then that's it. for
Yeah, I
today.
want to see your freeform, Brenda.
I want to do a free form. So I think everybody wants to see how that goes. Where did it go? Is this?
Freeform.
That's going to be too much. You just need the tiniest bit. Just, oh, here it is. It's sticking to my finger. Yeah, that's why you want to use the baby wipes a lot, because
It sticks to
it
everything.
sticks to everything. You want to get it off of you, off your tools. If it's stuff you're going to throw away, then whatever. But if it's you're going to use it again, then you want to get it off. Okay. So let's see how this one looks. It might be too big. No, it's okay. I'm sure I could have done a better job of the design of this, but at least, you know, you get the idea of the process.
Mhm.
Like, if I had a little bit of ball chain cut, I wouldn't mind putting a little bit in here, maybe. Maybe a little up here. Maybe micro beads would be good, but if, you know what, epoxy sculpt is hard to get the micro beads to stick, because even though epoxy sculpt is so sticky, they just are so tiny, you just want to roll off. So in that case, you have to take your toothpick and put a little tiny bit of glue in, and then let them just fall down into the glue, and then tamp them, and you're good.
I wonder if it's because it doesn't have texture, like, to grab onto it.
I don't know. I think some
'Cause they're all,
things.
like,
I just
shiny
think
and
it's just
slippery.
certain things. You know, you still got to use glue. That's
Yeah.
it. You know, it's never going to change. So, how many do we have with us today, hubby?
23.
Oh, good.
We had at one point 25.
25. It might be too. Maybe we're too long. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad
Yeah,
time.
we are kind of too long.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll try to do the freeform one real quick, just show you how I roll it out, but I won't decorate it. Then you guys can just go do one at home.
Yeah, you
Because I was hoping to stay to like 50 minutes, and I'm sure that ain't happening.
Yeah, that's not happening.
No.
You're way over.
Yeah, well, it is what it
It is
is.
what
Okay,
it
these are
is.
cool. I like these. You see what I did? I just, you know, mushed it out, covered it, and then adorned it or embellished it. So, you know, really anything you have, like a bead. A bead would be a little bit harder. You might have to work off of a skewer or a toothpick and hold it so it can roll. I don't know. I haven't tried one yet. But, I mean, it definitely will work and be nice. So now I'm going to pick these up and put them over here. And this sheet over here where I'm placing them is silicone, so I'm fine. I want to have another look and make sure that my bead holes are reamed out. They are. You know, if you guys want, since we're going long, we could do the free form on Friday. If you want to come back on Friday.
Would that be a live or just a regular video?
I don't know, probably have to be alive. But I mean, it doesn't matter if it's live or not, because you can see it anytime.
That's true. Maybe we should just do a produce one.
Well, we could do that too, but I'm just thinking with the free form, it takes longer. Okay, I'll just do a little something here. like a roundish one like I did with this, and give you some ideas. So you take a nice piece off. Hey, maybe I'll show you how that mica thing works with this. It might distort a little bit, but let's try it anyways.
Mica? The powder?
Yeah, like Pamela told me to put the mica powder on it first and then put the little texture sheet on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where's that other little texture sheet I had?
It's probably under there.
Yeah, that works better for small stuff. Really, I should cut this one up. This big one. I should cut this one up as for doing this kind of stuff. Okay, I can see it's just all wonky and all over the place, but okay, we're on camera, good.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's like, okay. The main thing is I want to kind of get it the same height all around. Excuse me. Okay, so now I'm going to take, this is interference green. Might work. We'll try it. You shouldn't do this, but I'm going to just stick my finger. No, I'm not. I got a swab. You shouldn't stick your finger with Epoxy Sculpt into your perfect curls because you'll corrupt it.
Oh,
You shouldn't do that.
here's
I should like pour some out. I was about to do it too, like an
Here's a
idiot.
good question somebody asked.
Let's hear
Terry
it.
said, with this product, when using rhinestones, what is your preference stone, especially with Swarovski not selling anymore? Also, is it safe for foiled or unfoiled stones, I'm guessing?
It's safe for any kind of stone thing you want to put in it.
That's what I
And
was
since Swarovski is going bye-bye, I would highly recommend that you buy Preciosa, which it's always been my favorite anyway.
Yes.
It's cheaper. For how long, I don't know. But, of course, you can't get all those special effects like, they have Swarovski, but since Swarovski doesn't do it anymore, I'm sure Preciosa will just pick up the ball and run with it. But, yeah. Now, I'm not, a big stone dealer. I mean, I have some stone. I tend to have mixtures of things, or maybe a big focal stone,
Ooh.
Okay, so now I've got that on there, interference green. Now I want to put texture. This kind of just makes, I don't know, it's just kind of a little tiny bit of a barrier to make the pattern kind of seep down in it. I don't know, not barrier, I don't know what you call it. I'm just putting it like this. Really, I could have picked it up and put it on there. That'd probably been better.
I was thinking you could have rolled it.
You could roll it too, but if you do, you might distort it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, this came out great.
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys see that?
Whoa.
That looks almost like one of those beautiful check beads.
Well, looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it came out absolutely beautiful. You don't need to adorn that. You're done. All you need is a hole.
Wow, that came out great. It didn't even stick to it, too.
It's amazing. Think how many you could make doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, Pamela
that.
gave me that idea. She said she found out that really worked good. Maybe
It
some of
does.
you know that already. But you would never get that kind of an imprint if you had not put that down.
Yeah, that's what I was
So the
thinking.
only problem would be is if you don't want to make it look iridescent, what do you put? I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. So I'll put my hole right
I like
here because there's
iridescent.
already a little curly-Q deal there. I'll put my hole right
Curly-Q.
here. And maybe because the little swirly goes up around it already, kind of makes his own little self rivet thing there.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I'll just let that go and let it be enough. And
Thank
tamp
you.
it down.
You could always put a
Wow.
stone in the middle. couldn't
Yeah, well, not if you want to hang it. If you put a stone in there, then you can't hang it.
you? Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay. Wow, am I glad I did that. Aren't you guys glad I did that? That's awesome. So how about if we quit here, and then I'll be back Friday. If I can do something in a short amount of time, like 20 minutes or less, then I'll do produced video. If I'm going to need more time, then we'll do live, and I will let you know. It will be in the newsletter, and it will be on the creative group. And if you don't belong to the creative group yet, please join us. We'd love to have you. It's at Facebook, so if you can stand Facebook, come to Facebook to Be Boutique's creative group and ask for admittance, and we will let you in. and you're going to make a lot of new friends, and you're going to love it, and you're going to learn a lot of new things. You'll see a lot of new things. And I'm on there every day. So, if you need a little of my time that way too, I'm on there every day. So, I'm happy to respond. I respond to everybody. As long as you're nice to me, that's all I care.
Betty says, where do you purchase the impression textured sheets?
I'm going to have some before too long, Betty. I used to always have them.
Yeah.
If you have a craft store nearby you, you can get them there. I'll tell you another thing that works is the folders for Cuttlebug
Oh.
will do it. But I would not put this through Cuttlebug. I
Yeah.
would cut them up and then do it. But you can't let them sit on the Cuttlebug folder because it's hard plastic and it'll stick to it. So it can only be momentary. But yeah, they're not hard to find, but I will have some before too long, okay? I'll make an order this week and get my Lisa Pavelkas back because I always like them. If you have a resource to get Lisa Pavelka on your own, by all means do it. Don't wait for me. She is not hard to find. She's a nice lady, by the way, too. So I don't mind patronizing her, but I love her texture sheets. Hers are my favorite. And really, like I said, for doing this kind of stuff, cutting them up in little pieces would be a good idea. But one of these costs, depending, like 10 to 12 bucks. It's worth it, though. The only thing I have to say to you is if you're using Epoxy Sculpt, see, there's a little bit stuck in there. That doesn't matter. It's a very little bit. But you don't want to get a bunch of Epoxy Sculpt down in here, gunked up, and then let it get hard. You can get it out because it's silicone, but why go through it? Just clean it. It's soap and water cleanup. Just throw it down in the sink with some water, and then clean it up, and then you'll be fine. So I would advise you to clean up. So I lost one of my skewers. I guess I'm not mixing any more Epoxy Sculpt. Ha! Okay, guys, I think we'll let it go at that because I've been on here yakking way too long. Javi's getting disgusted. She wants to go see her mom. So I'm going to quit here and then come back with me on Friday. We always have video on Friday. Sometimes
Yes.
it's live. Sometimes
It's pretty.
it's not. But we always have one on Friday. Sunday, not so much. So now you've got like 5 seconds to get a comment on here if you've not made one. Because you want to win my gifty, don't you? Oh, yeah, you do. You know you do.
Yeah.
So get your, because you don't have to buy nothing or anything. Just put your name down on the feed here,
Oh,
not in the
dropping
description of the video. That doesn't count. And if you haven't liked this yet, please do. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And we would just love it if you would become part of our community and come back regularly. Okay, I've talked enough. Love you all. Thanks so much for coming. It meant so much to me. You guys have no idea. It really did. So you guys have a good Sunday, and we'll catch ya